Welcome back, everyone. Today is our last day talking about miracles. We're going to be talking about, we have talked about a lot of the miracles that Jesus did. We talked about when he walked on water, when he fed 5,000 people. But we haven't talked about the big one, the one that defies so many things, and that one is when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. Now, before we talk about the story, let's talk about some of the practices that people used in burying their dead. In Egypt, embalming was a really big deal. Embalming is most commonly when people take out the organs of the deceased person. So they take out the brain, they take out the liver, kidneys, all that, and then they fill up the body with either honey or wax or just spices and different types of sweet smelling scents. And this was very common with Egypt. Some of the Jewish people also practiced this. But that's not the one Lazarus had. Lazarus was buried in a tomb, which is basically a little cave. And that means that he was wrapped in cloth and then put inside of the tomb. Now, Egypt and Israel, they're both in a desert area. That means that it's hot. And because it's hot, that means that things start to decay a lot quicker, and there's a gross smell to this. So when Jesus, going into how Jesus found Lazarus, when Jesus found him, he was already 3 days gone. So here, let's read a little bit about when Jesus found Lazarus. And I'm going to be talking today, or I'm going to be reading from John 11:1 through 44. But for this purpose, I'm going to be talking 17 through 44. So, here. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now, Bethany was near Jerusalem, some 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them about their brother. Because apparently he was a well known man, and the fact that Jesus knew him meant it should mean something. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary stayed at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would have not died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask of him." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world." Now, what comes next is going to be a very interesting passage. Here, let me just read it. When she said this, she went back and called her sister Mary and told her privately, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." And when she heard it, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. The Jews who were with her in the house consoled her, saw Mary get up quickly and go out. They followed her because they thought that she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" And they said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus began to weep. Now, it makes sense that when you're faced with a group of crying people all mourning for someone they lost, most likely you will feel this too. And that was included to Jesus. He was human. He was also God. But because he was human, he understood what it meant to mourn. And he had a relationship with Lazarus. Now, how close was he with Lazarus is not fully explained, but we know that they must have been close to each other, since he knew the whole family of Mary and Martha and Lazarus. And he wept for him. Now, why would he have wept for him? Unless it meant something deeply to him. So let's continue reading. So the Jews said how he loved him, but some of them said, Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, already there is a stench, because he has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God?" So they took the stone, and Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Now, this is one of the biggest miracles Jesus did, right? He raised someone from the dead. Because of this, many people did believe. But did he do this for himself? Or did he do it for the people around him? He himself says in the passage that he's praying right now, not because he's having trouble believing, but he did it for the people around him. And then once Lazarus came out, it didn't say that he was rotting. It didn't say that he was a zombie, right? No, he was fully healed. Now, this is difficult to understand, and not very many of us do completely get to understand it, but the meaning behind the words is what matters. Jesus won't leave you, even when you think that you're beyond saving, even when everyone else has given up, he won't give up on you. Miracles aren't just these really big, great, extravagant things. Miracles are very small things. A baby can be considered a miracle. But even then, like a smile, helping out people, doing things because you want to make people happy. These little miracles, everyday miracles, can also be considered miracles from God. And with that, I want to leave you. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is going to be the last on the topic of miracles. But we'll be back with a new topic. But until then, I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.